Show them we can rise from ash. Jade, Lavender, and Scarlet Phoenix power. Together we will rise. They tried to burn us, we bloom like a flower. They didn't know we had a Phoenix's power. Phoenix power.
Hey, Phoenix Nation! It's Lavender here, and I have one thing to say to all you travelers.
It all started when I was born.
Where the hell you been, Lucas?
Bella, where the hell have you been, Luca?
As you probably know, or if you haven't listened to all the previous episodes, which why haven't you? I am an absolute Twilight head. I will unashamedly say it. Jade knows it all too well.
Twihard.
Exactly.
You're a twihard.
Exactly. So, I gotta say, no better way to introduce my lovely host here without shouting out, your skin is pale white and ice cold. You sparkle in the sunlight. You're
I don't know where you're going with this, and I'm just staring at you in consternation.
vampire.
Vampires don't fucking sparkle.
Okay, but like I fully believe like the whole like Twilight fan theory that they're like vampires but also fae, but you know, all good. But yes, these vampires do.
Yeah, Tinkerbell gave birth to a fucking... She had sex with Dracula, maybe.
Maybe, exactly. Maybe. You never know because, I mean, technically we don't have any frame of reference for the origin of vampires in Stephenie Meyer's Twilight series.
No.
Which brings us to a wonderful point. Since we're in spooky season,
Yeah.
it means that we're going to be highlighting some of your favorite spooky creatures.
As you listen to this while we are enjoying New York City Comic Con.
Exactly. And especially with the 20th anniversary of Twilight being just this last weekend.
When exactly?
Actually, it was exactly on September 30th.
There you go.
So just about a weekend ago, like a week and a half at that point. But it was on September 30th. Your girl got my deluxe edition, special 20th anniversary editions, and I'm in love with them. And I need to find a special place to put them.
I wonder if Stephenie Meyer will ever come out to a Comic Con to do book signings because they have been getting.
Would cry my eyes out.
They have been getting. I mean, for fuck's sake, they have the guy that wrote Game of Thrones.
I was so upset I could not get a slot.
Sold out.
I know, it sold out. I could not get a slot for George R.R. Martin.
I wanted to meet him.
Me too. I wanted him to sign my original Game of Thrones.
Right, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, Stephenie Meyer, what are you doing?
I mean, she did go to Forever Twilight and Forks this year.
Yeah,
She
that's
actually
Forever
took
Twilight.
the journey over.
But that's the Forever Twilight. She lives in Utah.
I know. I really want to do Forever Twilight and Forks one year. It looks like a lot of fun. The fandom seems to have a great time.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
The Phoenix Gate may have to invade there, and I will go under protest.
Please.
I'll go under
We're gonna-
protest.
It's La Push, baby. La Push.
Like, wait, am I like doing main character? You can't even see my face right now. But
Yeah,
like, am
no,
I doing main character syndrome?
Oh my God, I think so. You just have to like cover your face like a little bit more. Yeah, just like that. And you have to be like,
Considering also the fact that you have convinced me to cosplay Rosalie.
yeah, because if we go to Forever Twilight and Forks, we need to do the full
Fine.
crew in
Wait,
the baseball
who?
outfits.
But how?
We'll find a way.
It would literally just be you, me, most likely Noose.
News could be Emmett.
How? The poor boy's gonna have to shave his beard.
Yeah, too bad.
Hey,
Too bad, too sad.
Noose, I don't know, man. This is Lavender's insanity. I'm not gonna speak for you because you're not here, but
You done goofed.
nah.
But yeah, Stephenie Meyer, please come to some more conventions. I would love to meet you. It would actually make my life. I would be so excited to meet you.
There's only like 2 people on this planet that I know for a fact that our Lavender would lose her absolute shit for, and she's already met one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the only other
left.
one that's left that our Lavender will literally sit there, and I'm going to have to literally hold her up because her legs will not work.
Because I will not know what to say to you because you made my entire like middle school years worth living, lady. You don't understand.
Fuck your life. Bing bong.
It's
Although
true.
she is a self-aware queen. She did she did some great interviews at Forever Twilight and Forks. And actually one of the things she said was she has sketches for ideas of future Twilight books. I'm really happy that we're not going to be getting a Raspberry title any day soon, as it seems. She literally said if she hasn't gotten around to writing it, she's just
not going to do it.
She literally was like, oh yeah, I'll just make sure someone publishes it when I'm dead. I'm like, girl, morbid, but like, okay. You do you, boo. But she did say if there was a project she'd want to do first, she would actually love to rewrite the Twilight novels.
I mean, we did get Midnight Sun.
We did get Midnight Sun. And one of the points she made when she was like, I think I've really gotten better as a writer as I've gotten older. So she was like, one of the projects I would love to undertake is just rewriting the original Twilights with everything I know now from the original saga.
It would be kind of nice if maybe she was able to take Midnight Sun and the original Twilight book and make it so that I get both perspectives at the same time.
That would be really, really cool.
So like, I get that would be a massive book.
Oh, 100%.
I understand
It'd be like
that.
thousands and thousands of pages.
Fair, but I would read it.
No, me too.
I would read that.
I loved Midnight Sun. I know some people had like certain opinions on it, but I loved that Midnight Sun was so unhinged.
Because Edward is
unhinged. And I think what really plays into like everything we're going to be talking about this episode is I feel like we get the romanticized version of the Twilight vampires because we're coming from Bella's perspective for the first 4 books.
Yep.
And also even Life and Death, even though it's a gender swapped version of Twilight, it's all being told from Beau's point of view. So it's still the human being dazzled by a vampire.
Don't we also have that short?
Oh, Short Secret Life of Brie Tanner.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie, I'm going to say this right now. Short Second Life of Brie Tanner is probably one of the best pieces of writing you've ever done. And I literally devour and reread that book every single year. Please, I would love for you to re-release that book and then also talk about the other newborn vampires experiences.
Yeah.
Especially Riley. I think that would be super interesting with how Victoria manipulated Riley.
Honestly, I kind of wanted and I'm not a Twilight fan, but I would have read a story about what's her face? Victoria and her mate.
Look, like, here's the thing.
Here's the other thing that I wanted. Not to interrupt you,
No,
but
you're
quickly
good,
while
you're good.
it's in my brain. I want to know why Carlisle broke from the Volturi.
Oh, we do have some details of that.
We do, but I want the fucking book.
Fuck yeah. I want to know
How
why
they
Carlisle
formed it.
broke up with his boyfriend, Aro. I need to know.
Oh, even better. I want to know how the Volturi came into being because we
Fuck
we get in Breaking Dawn about how the Volturi came in and destroyed all the
the Romani vampires and all of the other sects of vampire, quote unquote, royalty.
I want a book that gives us that rise to power.
I would really love that too. And
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's such a great idea. But here's another thing.
And
I
I'm not a
want to
Twilight
see if they ever do a film version of that book. I want to see the Volturi the way they're supposed to be.
It's unhinged and insane.
I want
evil.
these unhinged. And look, Michael Sheen, you did a wonderful job.
You did.
You did a wonderful job. Absolutely loved you. However, Aro is supposed to be fucking... The Volturi, some of them are supposed to be so fucking nasty and disgusting. Like, literally, the way it's told in the book is so nightmarish that, like, they lure these people in and the floors are literally
Sticky.
made, not only sticky, but made out of, like, bars, essentially, so that their blood and all their
Just floods
stuff can just
out.
flood out. And I would also love to see like more just like, because for example, Victoria has an insane backstory. Like she literally just gets ruined because of James, but she's like a badass bitch. And I'm like, why? Well, I mean, why do we need to let mediocre men ruin our lives, Victoria? What happened there? I want to know. And a lot of that is in part to the Volturi for killing her original coven.
Yeah.
But the thing about Midnight Sun that I think people didn't like, but I really liked, was you got to really see them as the monsters that they are. You didn't see them as these fantasized, oh, they're so beautiful.
They're so fast.
They're so fast and strong. You got to see, no, Edward had that entire scene where he's like holding his breath and looks like, ooh, 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 is literally because he's thinking about killing every single student in that classroom and then leaving Bella for dessert.
Because she smells like that delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
You what?
He was literally about to give it all and literally kill an entire classroom of students.
Just because he could.
Just because he could. And like people forget that aspect of the characters a lot. And because Bella is kind of she gets the best of everything type character, she doesn't have those same narrative foibles when she becomes a vampire.
Because she's a noob.
And she somehow magically has this insane control that the rest of them don't. So
It's her gift.
It's her gift. And like, hell.
Along with being a major, giant, powerful shield.
Exactly. It's like, girl, like also, are we forgetting Rosalie? Technically, Rosalie has never tasted human blood and she's murdered a million men. So I need to shout her out right there.
Hello.
But yeah, as you can tell, we love vampires around here.
Well,
I specifically
you specifically love Twilight.
Twilight vampires.
I would say you specifically love Twilight. I wouldn't say you specifically love Twilight vampires.
That's true. That's true.
You just love Twilight.
I just love Twilight. I'm always willing to be like, look, are they like the best literary vampires ever written? No. But do I find them absolutely fascinating? Yes.
Listen, I am not a Twilight fan, and I've read all those books.
I know.
And that's because I like reading, number one.
Yeah, 100%. And they're fun to read, whether you like the Twilight series entirely or not. They're just fun reads, I feel like.
I mean, they're not terrible.
Yeah.
But number two, I enjoy watching the movies. They are my brain rot movies.
Fuck yeah, girl,
When
me too.
I'm sick or too tired and I need background noise, I'll throw on Twilight.
Especially the first one.
It's so stupid.
The first one is so brilliant.
So fucking dumb, bro.
Shout out to Catherine Hardwicke because you understood the assignment. You knew what you were making. And I cannot say that.
Oh no.
Oh no. We love you, Tyler Warwick. You're literally my lifeblood.
Between Tyler and the oh my
Yasmin,
God.
I think her name is
Yasmin.
Love you, Yasmin.
It helps with the fact that like even though I'm not a twihard, I'm not a huge like member of the fandom. I wasn't in the fucking messaging boards. I didn't write fanfics. I just read the fucking books and watched the movies. That's all I did. Those two leave me sometimes in literal fucking tears from laughter.
Because they're hysterical.
They're so good.
And like, I think what makes it so great
is the parodies that have come from this fucking series. The scary movie version
Oh
of
my
it.
God, yeah. What was it? Vampires Suck?
Yes.
That one is one of my favorite parody movies ever.
I can't. I die laughing every time. And then there was a TikTok video that I recently just saw where they had both scenes, one on top of the other, so you could see them playing off at the same time. So you have the original Twilight with Edward, can't breathe because she smells good. I'm gonna kill everybody here. Blah. And then the same one that they're making fun of underneath, and I'm dying because I'm
so
like,
great.
oh my God, this is scratching itches I didn't know that I had. How dare you?
And I gotta say, like, I just love how much the fandom has like evolved.
Stayed.
And not only say, but like evolved. And I would have never put it on like my bingo card within the last 5 years that we'd be getting like Twilight fucking Crocs. There's a Twilight Crocs collab.
What?
That's coming out in November.
Are you getting it?
Crocs do not make any of their special Crocs in my size. So I unfortunately cannot. Hey, Crocs, stop, persecuting us small-footed girls, okay? Like some of us want the special edition Crocs too. Thank you very much.
They make them in kid sizes.
Not those ones. They only do them in adult.
Ew.
So
get a big one and just put them in sports mode. I don't know.
But yeah, they're doing Crocs like I think it's wild. Like I see all these collabs.
Says someone who said that she would never get Crocs and has like 3-4 pairs because they're Pokemon.
They're so comfortable though. I literally only own one pair of Crocs and I love them.
I have, unfortunately,
which are in kid sizes.
Unfortunately, I do have Crocs. I never wear them outside the house.
Fair. They're my house shoes too.
I only wear them in the house because you will not catch me dead in the streets.
Yeah.
You'll not
Same.
catch me dead in these streets with those fucking Crocs on. But DigiNan, on the other hand, wears them like they're going out of style.
Yeah, they're like his main staple.
Are you kidding me? DigiNan wears them to Comic-Con.
I love it.
All right?
I love this for him.
DigiNan is wearing them now as we are at Comic-Con. Because we are at Comic-Con while you are listening to this. DigiNan is wearing Crocs right now.
And it's so funny. I love it. Like, honestly, I'm the same way. They're my house shoes. So I'm like, please, Twilight collab with Crocs. When you release them, either make them in kid sizes.
Yep.
Or make them in a size 5.
I mean,
please.
You got to admit, though, the Twilight phenomenon has kept on, and you said this is the 20th anniversary?
This is the 20th anniversary of the first book.
20 years, the Twilight phenomenon has been happening where you had, it was everywhere in Hot Topic.
Yeah.
It's
back, too.
It's back, too. Not as hardcore because Hell of a Boston Has Been Hotel is like, you know.
Like the big fandoms there right now.
It's the big fandom right now. But we're talking about a series, a book series, mind you. There has been no TV show, only the movies.
Almost a TV show.
Almost.
Because we have Midnight Sun coming out on Netflix.
Supposedly.
Which I'm very excited about. It's actually, Stephanie actually talked about it at Forever Twilight and Forks. They're working on it vigorously right now.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be animated.
Nice.
I am very sad. Well, I understand. Stephanie did not want the art leaked, so the art was not leaked.
I don't blame her.
But I'm kind of really hoping it's either in the art style of these new deluxe editions of the books, because holy hell, they're pretty. Or they're done in the art style of the original graphic novels, which she said we're actually going to get all new graphic novels. She's finally going to finish them all. We're getting all new ones.
All right. I'm just saying, this is a fandom that has endured. Like, there are fandoms, and then there's the Twilight fandom. And, like, these people are a different fucking breed. Like, y'all, again, I'm not a fan. I'm not heavy. Do I know about the series? Do I know the things? Yes. Most of it is because I'm best friends with a Twihard.
Hello.
Okay. That is one thing, too. Also, like, I make it a point of knowing.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a fandom that has merch between the books itself, the movies, fan art.
Amazing fan art.
We have
like
tons of fan art. We have conventions.
Oh, yeah. Forever Twilight and
dedicated.
Forks. And every year they do it on Bella's birthday. And literally the entirety of Forks, Washington, like shuts down for this thing.
And people travel to Forks just because of this series.
I mean, hell, that's what I want to do. I just want to go and like see the house and see some of the filming locations and at the Carver Cafe, go to the Carver Cafe, see the Twilight, like there is a Twilight Museum, y'all, in Forks, Washington.
I believe it.
And they have a literal treaty line. Like there's a big giant sign for the treaty line.
But like the commerce alone surrounding this series is insane. Like, and then on top of that, like the books are still selling.
Like unbelievably. I think
there's still something that I see on the shelves at Barnes and Noble.
And I think what's even more interesting about it as a phenomenon, for example, like it
is a literal phenomenon. I'm going to call it that.
It is. There's like so many great creators. Like one of my personal favorites, she just released a book called Why We Love and Hate Twilight.
Ah!
And it's literally like this deep dive on not only the entire fandom, but like the things that we realize as critical readers. And I think that's so important now more than ever. Because of like the political, social climate that we're in right now. Like she can like openly talk on her platforms and be openly supported by people like Stephanie Meyer, who wrote Twilight, by people like Lionsgate, who created Twilight, to talk about the things that were done right and the things that were done wrong in the series.
I mean, let's call a spade here. The movies got what they got because of the way that they were directed.
I fully agree. And I think so much of it, in my opinion, people can disagree with me.
And they will.
Is fully off of Catherine Hardwicke's back. I feel like the first Twilight was the best directed one. And the best design-wise of all of them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like once they started getting male directors to do them, the tone of the series changed a lot.
It did, but also at the same time, we got a lot of that because the actors.
Oh, yeah. The actors made the films.
The actors made the films. And I'm sorry. Listen well, all ye who enter here, but I will... I've made fun of this man for years for playing Edward from Twilight.
I love you, Rob.
Okay, but Robert Pattinson, in my opinion, is one of the most talented actors to be in Hollywood right now.
He truly is. Like, irregardless of how you feel about his previous work, he is an insane powerhouse. And
He's so good. He can do so many things.
And he's even admitted it. He was like, if I wasn't a part of like a series like Twilight, or I wasn't a part of like, because he was also in Harry Potter.
Yeah, he was
Cedric Diggory.
Cedric Diggory, yeah.
If I wasn't a part of something like Harry Potter,
My fellow Hufflepuff.
he wouldn't have broken out the way that he did, even though it took longer and he needed to build his career off the backs of these types of typecasting.
Doesn't matter.
He was really able to shine. And I feel like Kristen was able to do the same thing. I think she's very talented.
She fucked up. She fucked up. Okay? That scandal that she had, she fucked up.
Oh, yeah. And I think there's like no real going around that.
Nah, and I think that also has typecasted her for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think what's also nice about the cast of Twilight, just in general, is I feel nearly all of them understand without being jaded or cruel, even if they could have been jaded at one point, because I love Robert Pattinson's totally jaded interviews about Edward Cullen.
He still is jaded.
He still is. I freaking love those fucking interviews. But he'll admit like he's happy that it meant something to fans.
But also a lot of people got to understand that the reason why Robert Pattinson is so jaded about a lot of those interviews is because of what happened between him and Kristen Stewart.
So it makes sense.
It makes sense that also, like, unfortunately, the biggest role that you are remembered for at the moment,
I feel like Batman surpassed it already,
but the biggest role that you are remembered for, that you still probably get thousands of residuals checks for, is also the glaring reminder of your biggest fucking heartbreak.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if I'm constantly presented with that fucking trauma over and over and over again, I too would be like, fuck that character.
Super fucking jaded. 100%.
Yep.
But I will say I really appreciate that so much of the cast, especially folks like Peter Fasinelli, like Taylor Lautner,
Sweetest man.
like Helen Lutz, like Ashley Greene, Jackson Rathbone, like they love interacting with the fans so much about these films.
Yeah.
Like they really care about the impact that those films had on the fans. And I think that's just so refreshing. You know what I mean?
Because a lot of actors are just like, don't talk to me about that.
And they're so fully a part of the meme culture
of
the fandom as well, which I fucking love. Ratbone is my favorite thing on the entire planet.
Oh my God.
I love you, Ratbone. I am in the Sewer Rats Twilight group. We all secretly think that you're the admin of that group. We love you. You're an absolute legend. And one day I will get to meet you and it'll be a meeting of the minds.
I swear to God. I love the fact that in every single public interview that he does the meme face, and
I love him so much.
And this is why you have those two freaking influencers that just leave me dying sometimes, because the unhinged fucking memery is golden.
Like that's what I love about it. Is like some people like, and this is my opinion, like obviously, but I love that Twilight and the fandom has evolved to just embrace the absolute camp about it.
Now.
Like they didn't always.
No.
Like let me get this clear. Like they did not always. And I was one of those girlies that I loved Twilight and I loved Harry Potter at the same time.
I'm about to make a name for
and
myself,
people used to like make me feel bad about it. Like people used to be like, oh, well, you can't like both of them. You have to only have one fandom and this one's better than this one. And in my opinion, I was like, well, I enjoy all of it. So like, why does there need to be some feud? It's kind of like how I find the Star Wars, Star Trek feud really silly. Because I'm like,
that's different. Okay.
I'm kind of like, they're two separate entities. I can enjoy them for different reasons. It doesn't mean one is bad. But it used to be like, I'm talking like so
there
hardcore.
Were turf wars.
There were turf wars about
this. Do you realize, okay, I'm older than you, so I remember things a little bit differently because you were in middle school.
I was in middle school, yeah, I was 13.
You were in middle school, I was already in college.
So you probably saw like the worst of it. My brain was still teenage adult.
So let me think. I was 20 when the Twilight shit came out, right? Yeah. I was already out of high school. I was an adult. I was almost legal to drink. All right. And this fucking series came out. Now, keep in mind, I am a huge vampire person. Like, listen, vampires versus werewolves. I'm a vamp bitch. I'm always going to be a vamp bitch. I love my werewolf brethren and sisters. Trust me, I do. Werewolves are cool. I am a vampire bitch. I always have been. All right. You got to also understand that for me, my intro into all this shit, which a lot of girls don't like, will attest to, that their intro into vampires wasn't just like being forced to read Dracula in high school English or anything like that. It was Twilight.
I will say it right now, as someone who I love Bram Stoker Dracula, I love Gothic literature, I love vampire literature. If I didn't read Twilight, I wouldn't have gotten into Anne Rice the way I got into Anne Rice.
That was my intro. I was introduced to the vampiric world between Dracula, and Anne Rice.
Yeah.
I was an Anne Rice bitch, and I shouldn't have been reading those books at the age that I did, but I did.
That's so fucking fantastic.
Okay, but also you got to understand, I'm also one of those, I'm the vampire girl that came from the school of Underworld. I'm the vampire girl that came from Charlene Harris.
Yeah.
That was my crack, was True Blood. Are you kidding me? When True
valid.
Blood came out? Fuck. Ooh. Okay. But that was me. I was like, now I can, and when True Blood came out, not to go on a tangent here.
No, go ahead.
When True Blood came out, I was like, I finally understand the Twilight shit. Because I was like, I get it now. I get why these bitches went feral over these made up fucking vampires, because I'm going feral over Eric fucking Northman, because
Oh, he's sexy.
Oh my
he's
God.
sexy. Honestly.
That is my ultimate man right there, number one. Number two, when I was an adult when Twilight came out, I'm going back. I went off my tangent, now I'm back. Since I was an adult, I got to watch all these tiny little preteens and teenagers literally sometimes get into fist fights over Team Edward or Team Jacob. I got to watch SNL skits with those actors.
Shout out Taylor Lautner.
Oh my God. I got to watch those and watch these actors make fun of themselves and still not fully understand the insanity that was Twilight, but still was able to laugh at it.
Yeah.
You are part of the actual insanity, and you helped me, understand why.
Exactly. It's I think that's what's so fun about the Twilight novels. And even I reread them every year as an adult just because I love them. They're my little crack, right?
I reread them.
I
will
love
admit I
rereading them. And one of the funniest things I've said to you really is I was a Team Edward girly through and through. I was like, that's my guy. I fucking love him. And then as I've been reading it as an adult, I'm like,
Edward's trash.
I think I made a mistake. I like Jacob better.
He's a terrible person.
I like Jacob better. Now that I'm reading it as an adult and also have gone through the life experiences that I've gone through, it's actually so interesting to me the way that this novel changed for me as I read them. When I was 13, I was just like Bella.
I'm in love.
Because she's feral and she's insane and she's a teenage girl, which you don't really get that in the movies, but in the books, she is. She's this feral little teenage girl that just has this big crush on this beautiful, sparkly man.
Because he was pretty.
And because he was pretty. And I will say this, the books actually give more to their relationship because it really goes deeper into their actual conversations, the things they have in common. A lot of things
they had to cut out of the movies.
Yeah, but I will say this,
or completely change.
Exactly. So it's so interesting to me, reading it at 13, right? When it first came out for me. And sitting there and being oh, I completely relate with Bella. Of course she went into a traumatic tailspin over a guy. This is so, I had
who hasn't?
Who hasn't? But I had no dating experience at this point, right? I was a 13-year-old brace-faced kid with zits and cystic acne. My mom, and this will sound so crazy, I felt so badly about my appearance all the time that the way that my mom made me feel better, because she was also reading the Twilight books, was, oh, you have brown hair like Bella. You're that was her way to make me feel better. She'd be like, oh, you have pretty hair like Bella does. And that made me feel better about myself. And that's kind of the point of the Bella character, right? She's kind of supposed to be a little bit of a self-insert. And
I could never connect with her, I guess.
It gave me a lot of confidence when I didn't have any. And I really loved that character. And then now reading it as an adult, I still love Bella as a character.
But I want to shake her.
But I want to shake her. I want to be like, girl, it's okay. Like, we grow up, you know? Like, we see the way the world is. And it's interesting because then I'm like, as an adult, when I was so staunchly Team Edward, like, as an adult, I'm now like.
Did you wear the shirts?
I had a shirt, yeah.
That said Team Edward?
I did not have a Team Edward shirt. My mom, like, refused to buy me t-shirts. My aunt actually bought me a shirt because she knew I wanted one so badly. And my mom was so angry about it. My mom hated graphic tees. Hated them.
Still
like,
does.
She would straight up, like, throw my graphic tees out.
What?
Like, she would be like, oh, you wear this one too much, and just, like, throw it. Or it would go missing.
Ew.
Like, because she did the laundry, it would, like, go missing.
Oh, it got caught in the dryer and ripped. I had to throw it away.
Exactly. So my
I've
aunt
used that trick.
actually bought me a Twilight shirt, and it was the only Twilight shirt I had, and it had the whole cast on it. So I had that, and then I had, my mom did let me buy the posters. I did have the posters in my room. I had all the different posters, but I'd never had like one of those Team Edward shirts, but I had, and I honestly do wish I still had it because.
Did you write Team Edward on your binders?
Oh, of course I did.
I knew it.
I used to have.
Oh my God.
And I
what is
freaking
wrong with
loved it.
you?
And it came with one of the DVD packs for New Moon, I think it was. And I will always be upset because it just like totally broke because it was, it was a crappy piece of plastic. But I actually had Bella's charm bracelet that Jacob made for her. And I loved that thing to death. So much so that it literally died and fell apart and had to be thrown out. But for me, it was so crazy just like remembering how much I loved it. And like, I actually found like a lot of community through Twilight because I was on those Twilight forums. I was a
not. I
part of Stephanie
refused.
Meyer's website.
I absolutely refused. I
So-
wouldn't do it.
For me, like as a kid that really didn't have a lot of friends, I was kind of outcast at my little Catholic school. To have this little like outside community that I could have and I could just talk to people about the fact I love Twilight and they also loved it was very like healing in a way. And I love how that's followed through with me as an adult. Like I love watching people talk about these books. I love people tearing these fucking books to shreds.
They're so funny.
Like, I just love it. And I think as I've continued to become an adult, I'm like, oh, wow, like, I've now become Team Jacob. And, but it's also like, and I still love Edward. He's my always, but I've become a Team Jacob girly. I get the hype now. Going back and just seeing, like, all these little things in these novels that I never picked up on. I'm like, oh, my God.
No.
That's really what it is to be, like,
She
a
wasn't
16-year-old girl.
She wasn't ready.
Like, Bella in the books, her frontal lobe ain't there.
Not at all.
Not at all. So it's
Emotional
hilarious
damage.
reading it. And she's so sassy in the books.
She is actually like, listen.
She is not sassy in the movie.
No
And, like,
shade to Kristen
no
Stewart.
shade at all. I love you,
Alright,
girl.
Listen, no shade, but what the fuck?
like no J girl, but for real. Like
Every single time, like did you have mild fucking Tourette's when
Like-
you were acting this?
Bella was so fucking sassy in the books. Like I've been rereading the first one, right?
Like, oh my God, Edward.
Literally.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Bella's out here going toe to toe with fucking Edward in the books. She's like, yeah, stay the fuck away from me. Like she's like, what's your fucking problem?
Like, dude, seriously, fuck off.
But also, this is the same Bella that wears a knee-length khaki skirt with a blue blouse. So, you know what? Like, she's got her pros and her cons.
But I mean, like, was your introduction to vampires.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I feel like without that, I wouldn't have found all the other vampire literature and vampire media that I really enjoy. Without it, I wouldn't have enjoyed True Blood because I would have had no introduction.
No.
I wouldn't have enjoyed things like I loved Hemlock Grove when Hemlock Grove was out. I was a huge fan. I wouldn't have gotten to like really get into Interview with the Vampire.
No, you wouldn't have.
Like without that introduction. And look, I love Dracula separately as piece literature. I probably still would have because I had to read it in high school and in college. I took a wonderful Victorian lit class. But like Victorian / Gothic literature class in my college. But the big thing is like it gave, especially some of us like outsider girlies, it gave us like that introduction into like the horror world.
Yeah.
That some of us like may have not had.
Because that's the thing that everybody forgets. Vampires are supposed to be
scary.
scary, of your nightmares. Yes, they are seductive. They are made that way. The earliest piece of film created for vampires is Nosferatu.
Love Nosferatu.
Okay, now we've had multiple iterations of that over the years. 3, I believe, but not including the original.
Yes, I
So
believe you're right.
we have Nosferatu from the 1920s, which is apparently so fucking scary for a silent film that it was banned. Okay. Then we had I think a remake of Nosferatu in the 50s, which was then later remade into the other film that we did cover on this podcast, which was Nosferatu,
The most
recent one that came out in 2025.
Which was fantastic if you haven't seen it.
Amazing. Go watch it. But like vampires are literally, these are not creatures that were created in the 90s or 80s or even the 1920s. These are creatures that have legends dating back into the earliest form of human memory.
Yeah, I was gonna say centuries and centuries and centuries ago.
The earliest peoples have legends of people that drank blood.
Yeah.
That lived forever or looked like they were immortal or had powers that like could not be explained. They had legends of people that would hunt other people only at night. The vampire legend is literally one of the oldest in creation.
Yeah, like one of my favorite little tidbits from that is they used to put little bells on the graves
because they didn't know if you were
they
alive
didn't know
or
if you were alive or dead. So, and that's part of like where the kind of like
or the
rising
cages.
from the dead and the cages. That's where that came from, was that superstition.
Yeah, part of it.
And
It was
there
part of
were other parts, like they didn't always know when someone was 100% dead, and they did actually bury people alive.
And then later on, they would like exhume the body, and there would be like scratch marks. All
yeah,
over
and
the
it
fucking
was
coffin.
so upsetting.
So
but
disgusting.
That's the thing is, right, is that's part of the reason I love Midnight Sun is Stephanie really embraced more of the horror elements of Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people, if Stephanie did a rewrite of Twilight, I would want a full horror version of Twilight.
Agreed.
Because it's already, when you dig deep into it, a really interesting horror novel.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is a young teenage girl who essentially gets trapped in between vampires and werewolves.
Yep.
Werewolves who are literally bound and forced to be werewolves because of vampires who won't leave their land alone.
You mean the same way Underworld happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Underworld was cooler.
it was just so fun to have that as an introduction at 13.
For
and
you.
for me. And I think
I was introduced to
was
the
just so
vampires
fun.
when I was in my, oh my God, way younger than that.
I could include the monsters.
Yeah, but I think the earliest I can remember becoming fascinated by vampires, believe it or not, Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I love Scooby-Doo.
It was so it was the Scooby-Doo and the Fright School.
Oh, I love that one.
So it was like you get Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy, and they're taking care of the daughters of the great monsters and stuff. And I think that was the earliest that I can remember seeing a vampire depicted. I mean, I had to have been like maybe 4. Okay, and I loved the vampire girl character.
Oh, she's so freaking cute.
She's so freaking cute. So I loved her. And then from there, I think whenever I was allowed to growing up, especially, I would devour vampire media. I was an avid reader from jump. So my mom actually let me read Dracula, like the original Bram Stoker's Dracula. She let me read it. Then from there, I was allowed to read Anne Rice, which I shouldn't have been reading as a prepubescent child, but I did. So I got to read Interview with the Vampire. And from there, like I got to read almost the entire series. My favorite of all of the Anne Rice series so far, obviously, like, you know, R.I.P. Anne, but it was always her book about the vampire Pandora.
Oh, yeah.
I actually got that book signed by Anne because I love that book so
That's
much.
so cool.
Yeah, I met her at Comic-Con years ago.
That's amazing.
So,
talking about Comic-Con.
Comic-Con while we are at Comic-Con. But that is definitely Pandora. Of all of Anne Rice's vampires, Pandora was my favorite.
I feel like I need to do more deeper reading into Anne Rice Because I feel
I
like
think you would really enjoy it.
I think I would really love that one. I really want to also read her Mayfair Witches because everyone
They're
tells me
so good.
I would love Mayfair Witches.
And the TV show's actually not bad.
I've heard great things about the TV show. I do really want to watch it.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the girls I do book club with were like, Kayla, you need to watch this thing. You'd really like it.
You would.
But yes.
But when it comes to vampires, like we're talking about a creature of legend, a creature of myth that has been made fun of, that has been romanticized, that has been horror. Like the vampire has worn every single type of hat, I guess you can say. Every type of fang it's had. All right. We have vampires like Celine and Victor from Underworld. Then we have vampires from like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I love Buffy.
Either the TV show or the original
the movie.
You know, then we have vampires that were depicted like the Munsters.
Yeah,
and
I love the
Addams
Munsters.
Family and all these fucking like these shows. There was always a vampire
Yeah.
or a vampire-esque character.
And I think part of it is because
We're fascinated.
not only are we fascinated, but I think vampires, in terms of creatures, are some of the most human-like in some ways, depending on the depictions of them.
I will agree because here's the thing. Vampires, and this is an argument I have with multiple friends in my community, vampires are the ultimate epitome of what we want to be.
Yes.
Because they have absolutely no limits, except, obviously, depending on what version of vampire you're dealing with, cannot go in the sun. Okay.
Sorry, I was just chuckling about Twilight vampires there.
They still can't go in the sun because they sparkle.
Not only that,
But then you have the vampires from like the Vampire Diaries who use special rings. So they
yeah,
can
your
go
special
into-
rings so they can. But I was just thinking about how Twilight vampires literally can't die unless you take all the pieces apart and burn them because they'll literally lick their body parts back on.
Yeah. But like, this is what I'm saying. Like, there are so many different styles of vampire. Like, and it differs from culture to culture.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that American vampire is the most heavily romanticized.
Yeah, and the most heavily human adjacent.
I would say more romanticized because in the end, they always still reveal themselves to be ultimately monsters.
Yeah.
But I would say it's the most romanticized version because most people actually want to become them because of the Americanized versions of them.
Valid. Okay.
But then if you go to a country like, say, Japan, there's absolutely no way that you would ever want to be a vampire at all. Then you go to like countries like even in England and France and Ireland. No, you don't want to be those type of fucking vampires because they're always depicted as the more animal versions of the vampire. The more obviously like the Nosferatus, the
Snaggletooths.
the snaggletooth monster that hides in a cave or an ancient castle. Okay. Dracula heavily romanticized the vampire. And that was written hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, like I actually wrote a thesis paper on Bram Stoker. And one of the things that I wrote about it was I personally, coming and looking at Bram Stoker's background, viewed in part that Dracula was meant to be a satire.
Yeah.
Because I felt like he was Scottish in literally in England, where they were heavily persecuted against. They were heavily depicted as these gross, grotesque beings, but especially the Romani people that Dracula's primarily based out of in
because
Romania.
he's also, we got to remember that Dracula himself was based on a real person.
Yeah.
Vlad Tepes.
So like the whole idea is that he's taking
He was
all
the
of
king
these,
of the Carpathian Mountains. He
He's-
was a real person.
he's taking all of these grotesque over exaggerations created from these horrible stereotypes that the English were using.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned it into a monster. And I always viewed that as his way of satirizing his own struggle of being an outsider in England.
I don't disagree.
And I think that's where the romanticization comes from. They
It
become
started there.
more of an outsider
Right.
versus like, oh, disgusting, gross creature.
Right. And then like it evolved over time because then it became where the vampire was hereditarily a solitary creature
Yeah.
to now all of a sudden it had groups.
Yeah, it had like they call like they have
Covens.
covens, they have
Nests.
nests, whichever version.
Bloodlines. It depends on where you are. Like, then you have different. Then this was introduced by, where we then got Vampire the Masquerade, the White Wolf game, where people could LARP as vampires, sort of like D&D. If you don't know what Vampire the Masquerade is, you should. It's a great fucking game. And basically, this is where the groupings, I would say, I want to call them groups, species of vampires have now been created, where you have like a vampire grouping called the Ventrus, then you have the Tremors, the Toreadors, the Brujas, the Nosferatu is in there. Then you have Gangrel and all sorts of other things. And these all different styles and species of vampire. They are all vampire, but they have different characteristics that fit better to the different styles of people, which is great because, for example, the Ventrus were considered the leaders, the elite. They're the ones that would take control of a room when you walked in. They were like the mafia bosses, if you will. Then you had the Toreadors, who were known as the pretty vampires. They were the ones that were all about the aesthetic. They're the ones that are all about the look. They're the ones that would charm you with the They were the ones that come hither and then eat you. Yeah. Where a Bruja would be like the gang vampire, where you would see them all in a big gang on motorcycles with leather jackets, and then they would eat you. Yeah. That's what I mean when it became so diversified, and this creature that we have been literally afraid of since we lived in caves has now become this epic creature, to the point where there are people that actually truly believe they are real vampires. Yeah. Down to drinking blood.
Yeah. And if you guys ever need like a really good, like interesting look at it, Dark Tourist on Netflix, he does a really good episode on the vampire communities in New Orleans.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I don't talk about that because I know those people. Yeah. Personally.
But it was a very honest and genuine take from somebody that could have easily been disrespectful.
Very much.
And instead he was like, oh, these are actually
the actual vampire
communities.
They are the community of which we are a part of. But we don't break the veil that way. And these communities have been highly publicized. Yeah. As the vampire craze has gotten bigger, obviously, since True Blood, Twilight, Underworld, all that fucking shit, Interview with the Vampire, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. These underground groups that started in like the 70s, 80s, 90s have become public knowledge. Yeah. Like they are now, there's been documentaries about it that date all the way back sometimes to the early 2000s, late 90s. There are interviews all over the fucking internet that you can find with prominent leaders, quote unquote, in the vampiric community. These people have adopted they adopt personas based on a creature that they truly believe that they are, in hopes that maybe one day they will be. Yeah. And, that's why, like, I sit there and I used to giggle about the vampire, craze with Twilight. I was going to say True Blood. But at the time when Twilight came out, I was already heavily into the vampire community by like 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
So you're like sitting there like,
I'm like, you bitches, like, excuse you, you sparkly fucks, excuse you. Anne Rice's vampire is superior to you. Buffy the vampires are superior to you. Sit the fuck down, you sparkly bitches. That's how I would feel about it.
Valid.
And the turf wars that go with like the type of vampiric, which series is better, is so funny to me.
Oh, I find them hilarious too.
But the vampire itself is such an enduring character. I mean, like, again, this is something that we've literally thought about since we were in caves.
For real. And now when you think
I want to know if our fucking ancestors actually saw them.
Yeah, right? And I think what's so...
If you're out there, come find me and bite me. Please, I don't want to be on this planet for I don't want to
my
be on
broken
this planet.
little body.
I don't want to be on this planet as a human.
Valid. Who wants to be human anyway?
I don't want to be on this planet as a human. I would like to stay on this planet, but I want to be on this planet as something better. Fuck yeah. Just saying. I'll shut up now.
No, it's okay. And I think going off of that, it's like, for example, Universal Studios literally just opened an entire theme park land about Universal monsters, but primarily about Dracula. Mm-hmm. Like, you literally go to this land And it's all based off of the idea that you're all humans that are allowed to live because of the vampires ruling over you.
Here's the other thing also. If you ever, anything you ever look at, it's always the vampire that is the king of monsters.
Yeah.
He's always the leader. Even in the satire shit like Hotel Transylvania,
Yeah.
he's still the leader.
He's the guy that owns the hotel that saves everyone.
Like, he is the leader, their unofficial king. Like, the vampire is the utmost echelon of all monster kind.
Yeah, which I think is so fun and interesting. And I think that's where our lure for them comes from too. Like, they're
believe
these
so.
creatures of complete and utter power. And who doesn't want to have complete and utter power over anything and everything? And you'd be lying if you said that you didn't at least want that once in your life.
Oh, for sure. Why do you think I do a podcast?
Because then you're forced to listen to it.
No, because this is where I have complete and utter power.
Valid.
Like, people don't have to listen to me, but if you're listening to me, I own you.
It's like, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Step on me, mommy. I'm just saying. But again, I would say when it comes down to the absolute, like, love of a vampire, who doesn't want to be loved for eternity?
I think that's
That's
what
also the biggest
really
thing.
gets me.
That's
And
the biggest thing.
when I look back on like when my mom would like tease me and be like, why are you Team Edward? That was my thought process. Especially like, think of the age group these books were aimed towards, right? Young teenage
Teens.
girls. And when you think about it, like, not only are our hormones through the roof, but like there were some of us that were these young kind of outcasted teenage girls who didn't have a boyfriend, who weren't the popular girls in school. And the idea that this immortal being could love just this regular girl, essentially,
Yeah.
it was so appealing, I think, to myself too.
Oh, for real.
This idea of like, I never had a boyfriend.
Catnip to a cat.
Exactly. I'd never been asked out. I'd never been on a date. Like, I just unfortunately was not that girl. I had to ask one of my gay best friends to take me to the prom. Like, no one promposed. Like, I was a girl with that background. So having a book that I could sit there and disappear and self-insert myself in this character who is so unconditionally loved, right? By this vampire, I was like, wow, that's all I want. I just want to be loved.
And it
so
helps
forever.
It helps that he's gorgeous and rich too.
Oh my God. Yeah. He's rich. If y'all don't understand how rich the Cullens are, please reread those books.
Yeah, because here's one of the jokes that, like, there's a joke that goes around in the vampire circles sometimes. It's like, how are you immortal and broke?
No, exactly.
Like, how have you lived for thousands of years and you're fucking
broke.
poor? The fuck?
Like, my favorite, and I don't know if Stephanie put this in as kind of like a joke, but one of my favorite little details about Twilight is the reason that the Cullens are so rich is because Edward has essentially conned the stock market and has just re-inherited all of his stocks and money as like different descendants of himself. And then you have Carlisle, who's a doctor, and then they all go to college
Multiple fucking
times with these insane PhDs and degrees. So they literally con the entire system.
On top of that, you have Alice's ability to see the fucking future.
Well, the one thing with her ability to see the future is it's based on human decision.
Right.
Like,
but
based on not human decision, but overall decision
can
by
you
individuals.
imagine if I had that in the stock market?
Yeah, then you could be
Fuck.
able to tell. So it's literally the whole thing is that like Edward and Alice essentially con the stock market and get them all of this money.
On top of the money that Carlisle had been putting away for centuries.
And Carlisle was from a rich, prestigious family.
Yeah. So he
In the
had
books.
it. He
So
had
already
it.
had the money. And keep in mind, he was with the Volturi. And technically, he was one of the only ones to leave the Volturi alive and on quote unquote good terms.
And he was in the council.
Exactly.
So the boy be fucking
So they
rich.
They rolling in it. And who doesn't want a vampire with millions and millions of dollars to be like,
would you call that generational wealth if you're the only generation?
you see, that's why I think it's hilarious. Because it is literally a detail in the books that they like are still like, obviously, like it's still Carlisle, but like, and they're still Edward. But Alice helps them forge birth certificates
And passports
and passports
IDs.
so that they're all like descendants of themselves.
Yeah. And they've been
And they
doing
keep
it apparently
passing money
for
down.
generations with the same. It's a detail in the book where Bella in Breaking Dawn goes to see Jay Jenks and he knows I've worked with him for 30 something years. And then my partner worked with him for like 50 years before that, talking
Yep.
about fucking Alice and Jasper. And he goes, they're remarkably well preserved. And that's his way of sitting there and going, I know what the fuck you are. Please don't eat me, but make me rich because you already have.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So come the fuck on.
Like, it's amazing. And like, look, who doesn't love to fantasize about like their beautiful wedding and you don't even have to work for anything. Alice will just dress you up like a little purse doll.
God. But like, also, here's the other thing. Who wouldn't also want the unlimited power that comes with being a vampire?
Exactly.
The
like
speed, the stealth, the fucking ability to beat because like, there's
ever
one
loving shit out of somebody.
There's literally one thing that happens with every single vampire and every single iteration is they are insanely strong and fast. And if they don't want you to know that they're there, you don't.
And I think
Who wouldn't want that?
yeah, and I think that's always part of the appeal too, is it's like,
Plus
wow.
being hot.
Being hot and powerful. Who doesn't want to be hot and who doesn't want to be powerful, especially when you feel not hot and powerless? And that's part of Bella's allure to vampires too, that like people kind of forget. And her wanting to be a vampire, it's also she wants to be beautiful forever. She wants to be powerful the way that they're powerful. Like people seem to forget because they only know the movie version of Bella that she's just like any other human being.
She was absolutely terrified of getting older.
Exactly. She was absolutely mortified by the idea of growing old. Like she wanted to be young forever. She wanted to have this power. And people forget that a lot about her characterization. I mean, they have that one scene in New Moon, which is like cringe as fuck. Was it in New Moon or was it in Eclipse? I think it was in New.
Say the scene and I'll let you know.
It was the one where she's having that vision of
Eclipse.
It was in Eclipse. Okay.
It was in Eclipse because she was already engaged
saw-
because in New Moon they had broken up and she was in
That's
her like,
right. And her
she had that vision of her
depresso.
and thought it was her grandmother and it was actually her in the mirror and Edward's just looking at her the way that he always looks because he's immortal.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking of. And another thing that I really did miss about the books that was also in Eclipse was her also weighing the pros of growing old with Jacob and getting to see her children grow up and getting to age
Having children.
gracefully. And well, I mean, she still got to have a baby.
We don't talk about that.
You know, we don't talk about Rasputin.
That's rough.
But I think that's like such a desire, I think, even when you're young, is you're almost scared of, I think no matter what, you're scared of the unknown. You're scared of getting older and not knowing what the world could do to you.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of being young forever and also being absolutely limitless, almost, is so alluring to people.
I agree.
And I think that's where like the Twilight fascination comes in.
And the
True
vampire
blood, vampire fascination. It's an incredible idea to have in your head of, oh, I could live forever and I don't ever have to quote unquote suffer again. And I think that's why people are really drawn to the Twilight version of vampires, you know, because they are, of the vampire versions, the most humanly
I would
adjacent.
say that of all vampire iterations, the Twilight vampires are the most human.
Yeah, and I think that's what made them so appealing when those books came out. And even still, as we continue to love and hate Twilight.
Listen, while I am never going to be a fan the way our Lavender is, I can say as my closing thought that Twilight did help a bunch of baby bats come into the fold.
Yeah.
So I will never hate it completely. How's that?
No, I think
I will
that's
never
totally
hate it
fair.
completely. And as a literary addition to the plethora that is the vampire genre, it's not the worst I've ever read. I've read worse ones, but it's not the worst. I would say it's mid.
I'm not even going to say, like, I can't even get into how bad the Vampire Diaries books are or I'm going to vomit.
Stop. I wasn't going.
But
I wasn't going there.
You weren't, but they're bad.
I wasn't going there. They're so fucking
They're
bad.
awful.
Ugh. But the show was good.
The show was fantastic, actually.
The show was great. But fuck those books.
Yeah,
but
those books
that's
were
my
awful.
that is my closing thoughts. When it comes down to it, it is not my go-to, but it's not something I won't go away from.
Fair.
What about you?
I think for me, I would have to just shout out Stephanie Meyer for just creating something that a 13-year-old girl who was like pretty lonely could find a lot of solace and joy in that now still follows me into adulthood. And I just want to like thank Twilight for being both the best and the worst thing ever made because it gives me billions of laughs. It gives me billions of points of pleasure whenever I just need something that'll just itch that scratch in my brain.
Serotonin.
That serotonin monster. But I agree. Without Twilight, I don't think I would have really been pulled into a lot of the communities that I'm in now.
Nope.
Without that original fandom for me.
Fair.
And I will never not love it. And y'all will always catch me wearing my Twilight pride very, very boastfully on my shoulders.
Yeah, it's true. She does.
And hopefully I will end up with those Crocs and we'll find out in November.
We'll see.
We'll see.
On that note, we're going to get out
We're
of
going
here.
to head out.
We got more Comic-Con shit to do.
Which y'all are going to hear about all next episode.
Hell
so
yeah.
get ready.
We may even do a bonus episode just
I think we
for
should
fun.
just to talk about everything Comic-Con.
I think so. I think we're going to need to talk about those experiences.
Oh, 100% because I'm going to definitely be crying about Elliot Page and Nicholas Hoult. For sure.
For sure. But on that note, adios, Phoenix fans. Until
Thank
next
you,
time.
friends.
Bye.
Bye.